Hello moto friends, 8,300 RPM. Welcome to the 5,000 mile review of Ducati Monster 797. And I would like to thank you for all the questions you wrote in the comments on the previous video about this bike. I will try and answer them as well as I can. If you got more questions, shoot them. A lot of people ask me if this is a good first bike. First and foremost, this is a great bike, but is it a good first bike? I don't know. It's quite expensive for a first bike. If you still have to learn and you make beginner mistakes and you crash it, might be an expensive mistake. Other than that, it's a great first bike. It's comfortable, brakes work nice, got ABS. It's got enough speed for you to enjoy it, but it doesn't have as much speed that if you open the throttle wide open, you will do a wheelie and end up on your back. So I think if you got the money and you know what you're doing, this is a great first bike. And if not, learn on a little beater bike, ride on it for 6 months, and then get this bike. So I've been driving this bike in the city, as well on the highway, as in mountains, as on track, and I think it's a pretty good all-around bike. For the city, it's got a good turning radius, the position is quite upright, so you got a good view of the traffic around you. For the highway, you do catch a lot of wind, but maybe you could get the cupoline on front and then it will be a little bit less. In the mountains, this was an absolute blast because of all the torque this little bike has. Whenever you come out of a turn, you could just open it up and climb up to the next bend, next turn. It was a lot of fun in the mountains, really enjoyed it there. And then on the track, well, it lacks a little bit of power on the track. When I was on the straightaway, max speed I was able to get was 160 kph, so other bikes flew right past me. But once we were in the twisty part of the track, because I had the torque, I could just stay in their wheel, even overtake them, and have a lot of fun. The only thing was, it has a low ground clearance. I scraped the pegs quite a lot. I will show you. So this is what happens from a track use. I don't know if you can see this, but this is totally scraped. I hit this in the turns, and the back here is also totally scraped off. It used to be like this long, now it's only this little bit left. So yeah, for track use, maybe get some rear sets, or maybe I should improve my positioning, but don't be afraid if you scratch something. I also had a question what I liked about this bike and what I would change. The thing I like about this bike is once you get rid of the stand exhaust and you get the Terminioni, the noise is just really nice. It's totally enjoyable. It's a nice sound. And then one thing I would improve on this bike is there's no gear indicator, like to tell you if you're in first, second, third, whatever. There's no gear indicator, and that might be a little down point I would like to see fixed, because in some occasions it just helps you to know which gear you are in. I had another question about the throttle response and how the air-cooled engine works. In all the miles I did on it, I haven't had one single problem. The throttle response is nice. If you turn it, you will have torque, you will go. So yeah. Also the throttle response isn't as wild that you will be putting yourself in danger. Like if you take a turn and you open it gradually, you'll never wash out the rear end. So it's a good throttle response. Power comes on gradually and keeps on coming on. I have ridden this bike on the hottest day of the year so far on track. So the engine got used and abused quite hard, and it had no overheating problems. And while I drive in the city, the engine, it never overheats. It does get a little bit hot, but nothing uncomfortable, nothing that would put you off riding. So I've had questions asking, how do you know how much fuel you still got left? And basically what I do with this button right here, I toggle between trip 1, trip 2, and then basically what I do, if you keep this button pushed in for 3 seconds, it resets. So whenever I go fill up, I just push it for 3 seconds, it resets, and then I know I have about 250k before my warning light will pop on. And that's if I drive on a highway, like 120 kph, constant speed, no crazy burst accelerations. And yeah, if I go fill up right away once I get the warning light, I have about 3 liters left in the tank, because Ducati says it's a 16 liter tank and I can fill up about 13 liters, so that leaves 3 liters in the tank. So the brakes and wet riding. I know there's ABS on this bike, but I have never had to rely on it for it to save me from a bad situation. And the brakes are Brembos. They will stop you, no problem. So good little brakes. This is the wear and tear of the tire after 5,000 miles. Included in those 5,000 miles was 1 track day and 1 trip through the French Alps. If you look at this, at the little marker, I have about a good millimeter left. This is the rear tire after 5,000 miles. Is the Terminioni worth it? It's an expensive little piece of kit for this bike. I'm sure you could find other options that are cheaper, but is it worth it? I would definitely say yes. It changed the bike so much. The slip-on, the remap of the engine. It was day and night when I came back from the dealership. I had such a big grin on my face, and still do, and still enjoy the sound of the engine. Plus it improves the engine. It's a lot smoother, you got a lot more torque. It's the best thing you can buy for this bike, I will tell you. If you buy the Terminioni race exhaust slip-on, it comes with 2 things. The first thing is this dB killer, which I have personally never used, but I will install it for you so you can hear the sound of the engine with the dB killer in. And then there's this other thing, the map key. This little thing is worth its weight in gold. This makes your bike run so much better than standard from factory. I recommend everybody to upgrade their bike with this. Another thing you will notice once you turn the bike on after you had the Terminioni exhaust installed, it will say race on the dashboard. Let's see how hard this is to install. Basically, I'm just gonna use this little multi-tool I got in a cycling shop. It's from the brand Lezine, and I hope this is enough to install this little thingy into the exhaust. So this was basically just one screw I needed to unbolt, and now we're gonna put it into the exhaust. Let's line up the holes. And it doesn't want to go in. Let me try that again. I just needed my two hands free to give it a good push. So now it's in. I just need to put this bolt right here in the little hole, and then this thing will be secured. Modification this bike definitely needs is a tail tidy to clean up this whole mess, because it's just way too big and ugly to keep on your bike. So I would just suggest you go online and look for a company that does a nice tail tidy and get rid of this big thing. One of the negative points I would like to point out is how easily this light comes off. If you're a little bit lazy while stepping off the bike and your foot accidentally hits it, it comes popping out straight away. Good thing is you can put it back in as easily as well, but I don't think it should come out as easily, so that's maybe something to work on. After a bit of twisting and turning, this is now back in place, as good as new. You never know when it was off. But so anyway, just be careful when you step off and you're being lazy with your foot. When you clip it, you can just put it back in.